One of my mottos is done is better than perfect, and I'm definitely embracing that today because I don't have a full script. I just really wanted to get out a video for this week, and so I'm just going for it. I have a couple talking points, but what I wanted to talk about today is how to create ease in your business. I wanted to give you a few suggestions. And the reason that I wanted to talk about that is because according to the internet, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, I believe. I did no fact checking because done is better than perfect, and I really had to get this done. So, one thing that I struggle with is anxiety, and it's one of those things that I say, like, I forget I have anxiety until I have anxiety. Until it's coming up, until it's bubbling up, I sort of forget about it. And for me, it's really easy to not pay attention to my stress levels, and then my body has to tell me that we're having a problem. Like, my brain is like, we're good, I can handle all of this, and then my body's like, oh, not actually, that's not really true. And that's when I will start I have various reactions to stress, but definitely anxiety is one of them, and mini panic attacks. And so lately that has been creeping up on me, and I'm not loving it because I had been anxiety free for probably about a year. But anyways, one way to reduce stress is to sort of, create as much ease as you can in your business. And in 2020, I really embraced that, knowing that I couldn't do it all because my kids were home and because things were wild and because it was a stressful year in general. I really embraced trying to find ways to make my business easier. And unfortunately, sometimes that means putting a little bit of work up front to make it easier down the road, which is the reason why we always put this kind of stuff off, right? We have these ideas, we've heard this advice before, but it requires us to spend some time up front, and spending time up front to save time later, it can be really difficult because you don't have that time. That's the whole reason you're sitting here trying to create some space in your business, some ease, right? One thing that I did last year was start to delegate things a lot more, start to hire out help for things in my business that I just couldn't wear all the hats anymore. And so I started to get people to help me out with that. But that isn't something that you can necessarily do if you're just starting your business. I have the privilege of doing that because I've been in business for almost 9 years now. Like, in 10 days will be my 9-year anniversary, and so I have that extra money, I have that cushion, I have that built up business. But if you're brand new, if you're only a year or two into your business and you're not making that consistent income that can afford you to hire out help, today I have some suggestions of some ways to bring some ease and some calmness into your business, because running a business is a stressful thing, and I understand that. So my first suggestion is to calendar in at the beginning of the month, or whenever, at the beginning of the quarter even, calendar in your marketing days. If you're an artist, I have heard this story a million times. No one likes marketing. I mean, I kind of like it, but not most artists, most small businesses do not really like the marketing portion, right? You want to draw your pictures, you want to do your patterns, you want to dig into your florals and your plaids and your whatever else, play around with Adobe Illustrator and Procreate brushes. You don't want to do marketing. You don't want to send out pitch emails. You don't want to schedule your Instagram, figuring out what you're going to put on Instagram. You don't want to send out a newsletter. Whatever your marketing strategies are, you don't really love doing that stuff. You probably heard the advice before to batch things, to do things in groups. It makes it easier, and that can be really, really true when it comes to marketing. If you pick 1 or 2 days a month and you put those in your calendar up front, it's going to be easier. You're not thinking about it. See, what I find is once I schedule something in, then I don't have to think about it anymore because I know it's on the calendar. I don't have to say, oh man, I really got to deal with my Instagram. Oh God, I haven't read my newsletter this month yet. Like, that kind of like mental stress that just keeps going through your head, like, oh, I gotta do that. It's like the back of your mind to-do list adds to stress. It really does. And it does not create ease. So once you put it in your calendar of like, okay, Tuesday, I'm going to be doing all that kind of stuff. So don't even worry about it. If you do it every week, if you do it every 2 weeks, whatever it is, if you know that you have that day that it's going to be your time to get it all done, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to keep it in the back of your mind of like, oh, I got to deal with that. I got to deal with that. No, you deal with it on that Tuesday morning or whatever it is. You know, when you get to that day, then you say, okay, here are all the tasks. Or maybe if it's once a month, maybe you make that to-do list the day before, and then you're ready to like hit the ground running like on your marketing day. But if you're doing it every week or something like that, you can just sort of release your brain from worrying about it until you get to that day of the week. And that has made a big difference for me. This year I have tried to do like 2 days of sort of admin and content stuff and making videos and blogs and blah, 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 and 2 days of design work. And it really, really, really releases my brain because I know like Tuesdays and Thursdays, don't even look at, you know, don't get stressed out about, you know, what your next like blog or class or whatever is going to be. Just draw. And then I don't have to stress out about client work on Wednesdays because that's my day to like dig into admin stuff. So having those days in the calendar, whether it's every week or every month, can really release your brain, which I love. Number 2, second tip for creating low-cost ways to create ease in your business. Templates. Any way you can systemize things is making your life easier. And I know that, again, this is one of those things where setting up that in advance, those templates in advance, feels like it's taking longer, but you have no idea. Like, if you haven't done it, you have no idea how much easier it is. I have templates in my Gmail, and for all these kind of things that I do regularly. And even if you feel like you don't have emails that you send regularly or you don't have tasks that you do regularly, if you have tasks that are kind of similar, setting up a template can be so easy. Or if it's something that you even do twice a year, but you do it twice a year, like every year, you know, I have just started putting in these systems of doing things and making these like lists, and it just makes it so much easier to have everything all spelled out. I don't have to like go and find everything, and like even if it's a short email that I'm writing out, like, hey, just wanted to let you know this, having it as a template where I just change 1 or 2 words or 3 words instead of like just typing out 2 sentences. I know 2 sentences doesn't sound like a lot, but like it makes so much difference when you have things in templates. So if you can template any of your emails, if you can create templates for your artwork, your sales sheets, if you can sort of make a template for your workflow of like, I always do this, and this. Once I'm finished with a pattern, I always name the file, you know, tag it in Adobe Bridge, send it off to whoever it needs to be sent off to, and then put it in this certain folder or whatever it is. Make a list, make a template, make a system. That makes things so much easier. The third thing you can do to create ease in your business, that is a low-cost way of doing that, is to create really strong boundaries for your time off. This, you know, as freelancers, as creative business owners, we are always, you know, feeling like we could be working. All the time. It's like, oh, well, there's always something to do, right? Even if you have 0 client work, no prospects, that's making you work harder because you're trying to get those prospects. You're trying to like hustle and make work appear out of nothing, right? And so you're working on your portfolio, you're working on your website, you're working on your marketing, this, that, the other, you're doing your Instagram, and you're getting tired, and it's really hard. And even at the end of the day, you feel like, oh, well, what did I really accomplish? much because maybe I didn't get that client today or whatever it is. So there feels like there's always more to be done. That's true. There will forever always be more to be done, but we can't do it all. And again, sort of talking about what I was talking about at the beginning of this video, if you know, you're one of those people who's like, I'm not stressed, I'm good, I love to, like, I'm a to-do list person and whatever, and then, you know, suddenly your body starts like telling you like, oh, PS, we're gonna have a panic attack right now, or, oh, by the way, like, you know, suddenly everything you eat is giving you a stomach ache, or whatever it is. Your body will tell you. You don't wanna wait for your body to tell you that. You don't wanna find that out, you know. Your health is your most important asset, basically. And so if you are dealing with, you know, chronic illness or inflammatory issues or whatever that are already stressful, stress is going to make all that kind of stuff worse, and it can also, you know, create new issues, and then you're going to the doctor trying to figure out what's going on, and suddenly you have less time. So again, like, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Is that the phrase? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Done's better than perfect. No, so boundaries for your time off, right? Like, really, really say, these are the hours I'm gonna work. I am not gonna work on the weekends, or I am not gonna work Mondays and Tuesdays, and I am gonna work on the weekends, or whatever it is. Make sure you have time off, and like, stay away. This year, I have been able to, because I have been hiring help, I've added email addresses to my work emails. So I used to have just one single email address that all my emails came into. So my work emails, my client emails, all this stuff. And that also meant that like my newsletters and my classes and all the customer service stuff, all that stuff came to like my main inbox, which was on my phone, is on my phone. And so it's like a client could get in touch with me, but so could a person who just subscribed to my newsletter and wanted to say hi. And I want to talk to that person, but I don't need to talk to that person at 9 p.m. at night. But if I've turned my phone on and see that email, I don't have those boundaries. So now that I have multiple email addresses, a lot of that stuff is filtered into different email addresses, and I have not signed on to those email addresses on my phone. So when it's 9 p.m. at night and I'm just like looking at my emails, I might see a client email because I do still check that work email, but I don't check all the emails that might come in from subscribers or about customer service issues with like the class or anything like that. So that has been awesome, and it's a little small way that I have added in boundaries to make sure that I am taking time off. So I encourage you to do the same in any way you can. You know, shut off your computer, shut off your phone. I have more about this in my video about how to be a boss in 2021, about shutting off notifications and stuff like that, lots of other tips like that. But creating those boundaries are so important. So just quick recap, calendar in your days for like marketing or for art or however you want to do it. Calendar in your marketing days, basically. Choose a few days a month or one day a week for admin, whatever it is. Batch your things so you don't have to have that running to-do list. You can just put it aside. If you think of something like, you know, mid-month and you know your marketing day is like next week or something like that, add it to the list, but don't think about it. Just write it down. Don't keep it in your head like, oh, I gotta deal with that, I gotta deal with that, all right? 2, templates. Any way you can sort of systemize things is gonna make things easier, whether you can use the same emails to send invoices to clients or whatever it is, or you can have a very distinct system of how you finish your collections or whatever. Systemize in any way you can. Template systems. Finally, boundaries for time off. Make sure you're taking time off. Make sure you're taking time away from work so that you don't have to feel the effects of stress coming in at you. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me while I gave you this very lo-fi YouTube video, which has some extremely helpful tips, but isn't as polished as some of my others. Not that my others are that polished, let's be honest, but it was great to just jump on here and give you those tips, and I hope that you are taking care of yourself. If you want more tips about surface pattern design and freelance creative business, give me a subscribe, give me a like, and share this with your friends. I'd appreciate it. Also, follow me on Instagram at esilverdesign.